Well, pat downs make them frown. Folks who bring us cokes don't like to be groped. I speak of flight attendants who are upset over what their union calls invasive pat downs, recently implemented by the TSA. Says the VP of the union repping 2,000 flight attendants. There are 2,000 of them. We're getting calls daily about people's experiences. Our members are concerned. And a recent union email to flight attendants told them if they opt out of the body scanner and are required to undergo a pat down, to ask that it be conducted in a private room with a witness. Says the union rep. We don't want them in uniform, who doesn't, going through this enhanced screening where their private areas are being touched in public. They actually make contact with the genital area. Sorry, Father. She added the union is not against security, just that the pat down is a little much. You know what else is a little much? This.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bear in my cave. Yeah, yeah. There's a bear in my cave. I wanna rock in my hole in the rock.
I got to tell you, now everybody talks about how great Nirvana was. They really sucked.
I don't know.
No,
I like the bear drummer.
Oh, God, Nirvana, overrated, Brooke. Are these flight attendants being too sensitive?
Well, you never know. It's all hearsay. Unless I'm in the room witnessing the pat down, I really can't give you an opinion. But look, we all know pat downs are awkward, they're invasive, but there's a very easy way to avoid them. Go through the scanner.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult.
People are worried, though, that the scanner might, show their naughty bits, and then they'll be printed out and end up on the web, which is what I would do.
To better educate our viewers, we have a scanner right here, and we would love for you to go through it to show them how safe it is.
Bill, you actually impersonate a scanning wand.
I do.
Yes.
I do. Yes.
It's quite impressive.
Yes.
Father,
wait.
Yes.
You know what? Before you ask the question, because it could be dangerous, I've got a solution.
Okay.
I've got some friends.
Yeah.
They're robots. Okay? We could employ them. They sit around and think of all sorts of questions for me and things.
Yes, that's true.
We could employ them with the TSA.
That's a good point.
They could do the work there, and people would feel very comfortable. These are good guys.
Yeah, robots can do this.
In
about 5 years, by the way, in 5 years, they will be doing it.
Father, I know the same robots you do, and what you need to know is that 2 of them are on 3 different things for sexual assault. Yeah, they are deviants. Absolutely.
All right, well, they should have no right to ask me questions then.
Well, they're forgiveness.
Ryan, here's where I come from. Isn't this all worth it for the name of, you can't complain if you're dead. Well, that's the way I look at it.
Well, Greg, I just want to answer something you said earlier. I wouldn't worry. There's already naked pictures of you online. I wouldn't worry about anyone scanning you and putting them there.
They are majestic, I might add.
I
posed for those, by the way.
Yeah, what's wrong with the frisks? Sometimes I go to the airport when I don't even have a flight.
Yeah.
I like a little human connection. Is that so wrong?
It's true. It does make you feel wanted, doesn't it?
A little bit.
By a lot of sweaty, overweight men in poorly fitted suits. But I'll take anything.
I see the inner beauty.
Yeah. Father, I got to ask you a question before I go.
Yep.
They don't touch you when you go through. You're a priest. They just let you fly right through, don't they?
No, they don't. I go through the same thing as flight attendants go through.
Really?
Yep.
Flight attendant training?
I got 2 choices. I either go through the scanner.
I'm just saying, terrorists.
If
terrorists dress like priests, that's the next step.
They make me take
Way to
all
give
the
them the
stuff
idea,
off.
Greg.
Really?
They make me take it all off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awkward.
Could be a plot for an interesting film. All right, so the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. Father Jonathan explains why he put 30 grand of church donations on them to go all the way. You're a monster. Coming up, what's better than an inanimate object? Asking Father Jonathan about life after death? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So which of my triceps is stronger? It's a trick question. I alternate both sides equally. It's important to stay focused at the gym. Our next guest knew that, and he knows lots of other stuff about this life and the next. Yes, it's time, once again, for our Holy Awesome segment, Father Knows Best. So, as always, Father, most of our questions come from robots, who you have a big robot following.
The intelligent group.
They are the smartest group. First one from Dennis from 29 Palms, California. Go, Dennis.
Hey, Father. Great sermon last Sunday. I agree that True Blood is the worst show on TV. Anyway, the book of Genesis tells us that the earliest men, Adam, Cain, Noah and pretty much everyone else lived hundreds and hundreds of years. My question is, was the Bible translated using dog ears? Of course, I am going by the King James Version, not the early Latin version that you fellows know.
That is a great
That's right.
question.
It is, and it's not only the King James version, it's the Andy Levy version,
yes.
which is the thous and the thys
Yeah.
and all of that. Here's the thing to keep in mind, Mr. Robot. You're from what's
He's
his
29
name?
Palms,
So
California.
What's his name?
His name, Dennis.
Dennis.
Answer the question, Father. I've got
okay.
4 more robots waiting.
Here it is. Don't tell me another joke. It's if you look at the Bible as if it were a science book, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Look at it as God revealing himself to man about the things that are most important to us, man and woman.
All right. I confused the heck out of me. I thought I was going to live to be 500. Thanks, Bible.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a question from Aaron. Aaron in Durham, North Carolina.
Great to see you again, Father. You are the one bright spot on this nightly disaster. Anyway, why does heaven have gates? If God knows who's allowed in heaven, who are they keeping out, and why is it just a single gate? Wouldn't a courtroom in heaven be a better analogy for judging one's life on earth?
Lady in the garage has a good point.
Absolutely. Well, God knows that we're all allowed in heaven. And the gates are an analogy. And the analogy is that the only one that can keep us out of heaven
Bill Gates.
is us.
It's Father Jonathan.
Okay? Is us. You and me. In other words, heaven is for those who want to be there. And of course, if there is free will, there's got to be an option out of it. And that's what we call hell.
No,
For those who don't want to be in heaven with God.
Ooh,
Now,
yeah,
do you subscribe to the Belinda Carlisle proverbs that say that heaven is a place on earth?
Are you looking in the New York Times for that?
No, she's a
Sing
pop
it for-
singer.
sing
Never
it for-
mind.
All
I
right.
can't.
There's a good transition to the next robot from Mitch. Great song, by the way. From Ellisville, Mississippi. Gained weight.
Yes.
Hey Father, thanks for the tickets to the Billy Graham golf tournament. Never have I heard so many screams of oh fudge when the amateur shanked it. Anyway, if eternal damnation is real, does that not imply that there is some dark corner of the universe over which God has no dominion, like the ultimate golf hazard?
Very good question.
They really are good questions. And we all ask about them, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And so,
Robots don't sleep.
you know what? If hell were a place that God threw all of us who messed up, well, then you would be right. That would be a corner of this universe that God simply didn't have control of anymore. But it's for those of us who decide, I don't want to be loved by God, and I want to stay away from God for eternity. And of course, as we mentioned before, that's the unbelievable power of free will. If we don't have a place to reject God, then we're not free. We're not human.
All right. Robot
Too serious.
Michael from, how do you pronounce that?
Decatur.
Decatur, I hardly knew her. From Georgia.
Hey Father, thanks for the stock tip. Now I'm broke. But here's my bigger problem. Where the punishment is so great, why would God create us with a mind that is capable of reasoning out the universe, and then make itself intentionally obscure, such that in order to believe in him, we'd require leaps of faith that are not supported by evidence or logic?
Wow. Excellent question. I know you're real, because none of these guys could come up with that
He was
question.
Australian, too.
I know you are real.
He was an Australian robot.
Here it is. You know what? If we believe that human knowledge is the only potential or capacity for us as human beings, in other words, if natural knowledge can only be grasped by our intelligence, you would be right. But we have a soul, and we can grasp spiritual knowledge. And so, yes, some things seem very confusing, but just as we can grow in natural knowledge, we can grow in spiritual knowledge. That takes time, it takes humility, and that's why you should watch this show.
Yeah. Do I have time for one more?
I like that.
Good plug.
All right, last robot question from John in Tennessee.
Hey Father, you left your jacket in the barn. I don't think you'll want it back. Anyhow, if God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, doesn't that preclude human free will by definition? When outcomes are known in advance and set in motion by the one who knows those outcomes, then the responsibility for those outcomes cannot rest upon those participating in the events.
Yeah, talking about free will and lost jackets left in the barn, I once left here in the Fox green room my jacket and collar, and it went missing. There's somebody out there who used their free will in a terrible way, probably for Halloween.
That was Bill, by the way.
Let me tell you, that is a great question. And there is no such thing, I would say, there's no such thing as free will unless there's God. Because our free will mirrors, without a doubt, a supernatural presence that says, I am not just responding to some sort of reaction, like I get my knee hit and it goes up, but rather I am a very special being, very different than all the animals. That's what makes me special. And Greg must have a lot of free will because he's very, very special.
I am.
No, he has free bill.
Strange.
Free bill, yes.
Yeah.
I just work around that.
I get free pills, too.
Yes.
Free pills are almost as good as free will. Because if you don't have free will, you can always have the free pills.
Sometimes you put the free pills in my free bill glass.
Yeah, I do.
I drink it and fall asleep.
And then you just, I don't know. What am I saying? We're taking a break. I lost my mind there for a minute. More stuff when we return.
As this is a family show, we can't be dropping the F-bomb here. Sure. Could I recommend a couple other words you could say instead of you? Beef stew. No?
No,
Okay.
no.
How about something positive like Fox News?
Fox News? All right.
Give it a shot.
The people have spoken. So you drive around town with the girl I love on Fox News. See one politician that wasn't corrupt. Fox News, and I got the rules. Poor get poorer, rich get richer. Hey, that's I'm having pains in my chest because I'm so stressed. Fox News.
Amazing. Change 2 words and that song goes from awesome to like really, really awesome. They should do that to every song.
Absolutely.
American Pie, Smoke on the Water.
Fox News Pie.
There you
Fox
go.
News on the Water.
Exactly.
It sounds awesome.
It does. All right. Before we go to the break, it's time to reveal the final results of the latest Red Eye poll. Now, if you remember, the question was, what number am I thinking of right now? 9% of you said 0. 13% said 9. Another 13% said 427. 30%, clever, said infinity.
Interesting.
And 35% of you said 58.6. Of course, the answer was minus 34. Because as you know, I think only about negative integers.
They're idiots.
I know, they so are. Well, we'll have a new poll question up soon. The website is foxnews.com/Reddit. The question might be, when will our poll be up? That might be the question. All
Very
right.
meta poll.
It is meta poll. I met a poll once. Took everything I had. Got me
get it out
drunk.
of
My
you.
pants were gone. Stupid poll. Hey, we'll close things out with a post-game wrap-up from TV's Andy Levy. And to see clips of recent shows, go to foxnews.com/Redeye. Time to go back to TV's Andy Levy for the post-game wrap-up.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Brooke, I hear you just hosted a lunch at the Princeton Club?
Yes, I did. The Lawfare Project co-sponsored a lunch with Pace University. We hosted Alan Dershowitz debating Scott Horton of Harper's Magazine. And to ensure that you get an invitation to our next event, sign up for a mailing list at www.thelawfareproject.org.
I will do that.
And in come the stalkers.
Hey, Ryan, where can people catch your live show?
I am regularly at Dangerfield's Comedy Club on 61st and 1st, and I have a headlining show at Gotham Comedy Club on December 29th. Go to my website.
Very nice.
RyanReese.com.
Love that place.
RyanReese.com?
RyanReese.com.
How do you spell Reese?
R-E-I-S-S.
Yeah, that's important.
It's very important.
Greg, stop quizzing the guest.
Stop what?
Quizzing the guest.
No, I was worried that
This
people
is
would...
not the spelling bee.
Well, it could have been Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and then no one would find him.
You are just rude.
I am. I apologize for this.
Hey,
Why am
Father,
I apologizing?
Father Jonathan, what's the proper response to Dominus Vobiscum?
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Excellent. See, Bill, he really is a priest.
I am very impressed. He also speaks
I'm
pop rock.
impressed that Andy Levy knew the question.
Because he's a
That was
Jew?
good.
He's a Jew because he's going to burn in hell?
No, I didn't.
He is going to burn in hell. Mark my words.
I am distinctly not impressed by the fact that Father Jonathan doesn't know how to pronounce my last name.
Well, you know what I'm going to do, Andy? I'm going to buy a bar, call it hell, invite you over, set you on fire in there, and you're going to burn in hell.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you, Andy. Brooke Goldstein, always a pleasure. A delight. Bill Schultz, you disgust me. Ryan Reese, always awesome. Father Jonathan Morris, thank you for gracing this wonderful, wonderful place. What am I saying?
You're welcome
I'm
for
not
coming.
even worth saying goodbye.